Hi, welcome back to another episode of Pagecast. I'm Ute Hermanus, and our special guest today is author of Summerween, Joss Wood.
Hello, it's so lovely to be here. Thanks for having me.
So for anyone who hasn't picked up Summerween yet,
Yes,
what could readers expect?
it's just a really fun book. I had the best fun writing it. It's a small town, spicy romance set in a bit of a weird-ass town, I'm not going to lie. But underneath it all, it's a rom-com with a solid dose of romance, and just I hope that they escape. I hope that they find a way that it makes them laugh, that it makes them smile, and it's just a escape from the world for a while. I'd like to go and live there.
I mean, emphasis on interesting town. It centers around Halloween in summer, which immediately caught my attention. I started reading it, and then I actually had to start the book over again because I was like, Halloween in summer? Well, that's something different. In Solstice Springs, otherwise known as H-Town for the locals, where did that idea come from?
So Summerween is a bit of a cultural phenomenon. I can't even say that right now,
It's
my
okay.
words. At the moment. So it's this combination of wanting to run Halloween throughout the year, keeping those vibes. And it seems to be a real huge trend right now, especially in the States, picking up in the UK as well. And why not? I mean, who doesn't want cobwebs with your cocktails? I mean, that would just be the coolest thing.
I mean, the cover of the book alone immediately draws your attention. It seems like a vibe.
It is such fun. And so we just took this idea with one more chapter, my editors who are absolutely fantastic. And we thought, well, if we're going to have summer, Halloween in summer, let's just push the boundaries a bit. And we most definitely did. So it revolves around a festival in summer called Summerween. And because the town is Halloween obsessed, and it's all year round, it's not just a little bit obsessed, it's all year round obsessed. There's this thing called Summerween. And so it's maybe picking up on the trend a bit, but it's just a fun book. And I mean, it's the festivals and the events in the book are just fun. And I had was so exciting trying to work all those things out. Create my own little town. It's like a little power trip.
Well, it's your book. Your creativity is just flowing into it.
Yeah.
Also, using Halloween is very different. Usually there's a Christmas, it's centered around a New Year's Eve. So it really adds a new layer to the book from the start to the very end. I know you've mentioned it's a trend, but do you have a personal love for Halloween?
Not really, because I don't think we really grew up with it. I most definitely have after writing this book. I mean, I'd love to decorate my house all year round with skeletons and cobwebs. My husband would object slightly, I think. My kids would think that I'm mad, and they already think I'm mad, so that wouldn't be an issue anyway. Not so much, but I think it's not so much a thing in South Africa. Yeah. But I think it's definitely is picking up, especially more in the gated communities and the safer places that kids can run around. I think it's such a cool thing to do. I mean, isn't it the nicest thing just to be able to escape into the little bit of weirdness pockets of our lives? I don't particularly have, to answer your question, any Halloween traditions, but I most definitely would like to start after writing these books. Yeah.
So with that in mind, if you, me, and anyone who picks up the book could spend a day in H-Town, where should we go?
Well, you have to start off at Spirited Grounds for an amazing cup of coffee, but you also have to stick around to wait for Effie, who's the resident ghost, to trip the power at 3:33. Now, there is a ongoing argument in H-Town between the skeptics and the true believers, whether Effie is actual ghost who trips it or somebody has put a timer on the power supply, but everybody loves it. Really good coffee. And then, so the town itself is a typical small town in America. It has a lake, it has an iron bandstand, it has this black weather green, and all these really quirky shops. So the restaurants that are haunted, supposedly. One's called Bougies, one's called Banshees. There's Cobwebs and Curiosities, a bookshop, Hollow Frame, an art gallery. So there are all these little bits and pieces. But my favorite place is the bar. The bar is, Jasper is the owner. The only spirit he believes in is Jack. He does not have anybody is allowed to do ghosts talk in his bar. He is virulently anti-ghost. And if you come in there, you are going to get nailed if you speak about ghosts. So there's this ongoing war, which I thought was quite fun, between the true believers and the skeptics.
I really enjoyed that too. I even got to a point I was like, are they actually ghosts? Can we see them? Or is it just pure imagination? Adding the ghosts into the story with their own personalities just made reading the book a lot more interesting. Why did you choose to add ghosts into it? Or was it just from personal stories that you know from growing up?
Well, I've had one or two little encounters with ghosts, nothing dramatic. But I just thought it would add another dimension to the story, and especially to mirror the story between Silas and Dane, who both have this idea about duty and what does duty mean in terms of service. So they're both in the medical field. Silas is a ghost from the Civil War doctor, and Dane is a trauma surgeon. But it was really important to me that the ghosts were authentic. That was just, I didn't want cookie cutter ghosts. I didn't want somebody standing at the end of the bed or just arsing around ghosts. The ghosts needed to have agency. And I kind of wanted to explore this idea that, hey, we don't always know everything when we're dead. And what else can we learn after we die? So Silas has to learn what he has to learn through watching Dane here on Earth, which was interesting. I kind of liked that. It was just,
I enjoyed their relationship with one another.
Yeah, they kind of bounced off each other.
For sure.
And I like that Dane he is so scientific, being a trauma surgeon, but he's like ghost curious. Whereas Wren, my heroine, who's grown up with Luna, who's godmother, who is the town's terribly lackadaisical witch, worst witch in the world, but the town's mayor, is so anti-ghost. And so I kind of liked just subverting it a little bit. That was fun. Keeps me interested.
Well, I think the creative process must have been quite interesting, and the book is such a fun read. The ghosts have agency, but it also makes you feel like you could have a personal interaction right now, just like we're chatting, and then suddenly Silas is there judging us, like looking at, wondering like, what are they doing? And you feel like, is someone actually watching us, or are we alone right now? And can we dive into the secrets of what happens in H Town? So Dane is one of the main characters, and then there is Wren. So the book really centers around these two characters. Why with this book in particular did you opt to do a friends to lovers story?
It was actually quite strange for this book, because generally I find the characters first and the town second. Just to go back a bit, this time around I had the town first and the character second, because the book that's coming out next month is called Halloween Town. And that actually was the start of the entire series. So basically it's a runaway bride who is looking in the mirror. She's all dolled up, and two ghosts appear and tell her to run. And that actually sparked the whole idea. And she ran back to Solstice Springs. So that sparked the whole idea for the town. So I had the town, and now I needed to find the characters. So Wren comes back to town. She's had a really two very bad viral incidences, and she is having a man-free summer, determined to have a man-free summer. She is not interested in men. I say in the book that John Cook from BTS could start flirting with her, and she'd go, nah, man.
I love that.
And Dane comes along, and because I'm a bitch of a writer, I'm going, let's see, I can torture you. And then Dane comes along, and he's there on vacation to sort out his PTSD issues and to try and work out where he's going. He's had a bit of a crisis in his professional life, and he comes there, and both of them are not interested particularly in falling in love. Ha 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 ha.
Very anti-love. Very anti-love. I need to stay far away from you. Oh, but yet they constantly put in the same spaces.
Because I'm mean.
So did you enjoy writing that? Just having to force them in, like, oh, I'm going to avoid you. And then suddenly I'm seeing you and you're with the person I'm talking to, like, what's going on?
And how do I make this really hot guy dance? And he's so bad at it.
I really enjoyed that. Yeah. It must be the duty inside.
Well, I think it came back to the fact that he has issues with his father. And he saw this young boy who's got issues with his father. And he just stepped up. And I like guys who step up. And the fact that he gets to watch this hot chick dance is also up there.
He has to have a benefit.
Yeah, absolutely.
If he's going to assist, he had a little bit of a reward, and then being in a space with the same person he's been trying to avoid. What I really enjoyed about reading Summerween too was that both of them felt like they were puzzle pieces, just trying to figure out exactly how they fit in each other's lives. Was that something you knew would instantly happen as you started writing the book?
I think you're giving me far too much credit. I have no idea what's happening half the time in my books. I mean, I've written so many of them, and I basically I think I've just got an instinct for how a story works along the way. I write something and I tell myself the story, and it somehow just clicks. I don't go in with any preconcept. I mean, when I say I'm not a total pantser, I have an idea. But I don't have an idea of how they really the whole thing works. It just kind of comes inorganic, and I think that's just muscle memory. The fact that I've just written so many books now, that's just something that actually just kind of comes in.
Everything comes full circle.
Yeah.
So naturally, then, as these characters are trying to figure out their lives, where they fit, trying to really fight it's a man-free summer, I'm not interested in love.
Yeah.
Did you just simply put yourself in their shoes and think about, okay, like if I were here, this is kind of how things are going to happen?
I think it all just happens with what ifs. So my entire writing process is what if. And as soon as they start getting a bit too comfortable, how can I make them uncomfortable? How can this be hard? Because I think it needs to be hard. Love needs to be fought for. And love needs to, the whole thing needs to, you've got to put in the effort. And I think it's really important that love is not, it's got to have high expectations about it. If that's the one thing that we can have high expectations around it, it's about relationships. And I think that kind of thing is going, okay, well, this can just be a fling. Okay, but it's not a fling. It's no longer just a fling. And this is complicated. I don't want it. And so it's that push and pull. And how do you trust somebody? How do you put yourself, Wren desperately wants to be chosen. How do you get chosen? So it's a lot of trust. All my characters have got a lot of trust issues. They're a bit traumatized.
Very much. And Dane himself is just someone that wants to feel comfortable, where he's encouraged to choose himself too.
Absolutely. And what does duty mean? What do I owe the world? What do I owe my legacy? What do I owe my family legacy? Where does that come from? And that is mirrored through Silas as well. What do we have to do to make ourselves feel that we can live comfortably in this world? And we are allowed to choose ourselves. And that's something I think we only really realize once we get older. It's like, we're the stars of our own show. If we don't love ourselves,
who's going to?
And also you can only, somebody said, people make you happy, and no, you don't. You make yourself happy. The people who love you help you to learn how to be happy with yourself. But they don't make you happy. You make yourself happy, and they help you to learn how to make yourself happy.
I completely agree. That's why reading the book was so fun too. It's this crazy Halloween town. Even if you didn't like Halloween, I think spending a couple of days, let alone a week in H Town, you're going to be like, maybe I should also carve out a pumpkin and get on a floaty in the river and just have some fun with a couple of cocktails. The fact that Wren and Dane had this friendship first makes the book more intriguing, because it wasn't just, oh, I have feelings for you. It's the resistance. It's the navigating exactly how they feel, and without even realizing it, they become a soft landing spot for one another.
That's actually, you've just hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what I wanted this to be, that they became the soft place for each other to land, because neither of them have really had that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't want to give too many spoilers away.
I hate to tell you, but it is a happy ever after. Shh.
Okay, that's all we can say. So what was your favorite part? I mean, it's a friends to lovers plot that made you smile when writing about these two characters in particular.
What did I enjoy about it?
Like a scene in particular that made you smile.
Oh, you know what? I love writing women's friendships. So I loved writing I loved writing about Poppy and Wren's friendship because it's so old and it's so rude and it's so safe. I loved those scenes. I loved the scene where they got onto the boats before the parade of the paddle of the witches and warlocks. I love the witches and warlocks. I'm sorry, but I thought that was so clever. I just thought like
that and the BTS reference.
BTS. I'm a mad BTS fan. I have to one of every single book probably has a BTS or a K-drama reference.
The inner army in me was like,
yes.
Good, love this. Canon and Summerween.
Can I tell you how long I had to take to decide between V and Jungkook? It was it was a very hard choice. And so I'll have to do be in the next book.
Probably need to balance it out.
Yeah. I can't remember what you were asking me
Your
now.
characters.
Yeah,
that made you smile the most when writing about.
I loved writing Luna. Luna for me was she took over. I mean, literally some days I would come up out of writing and I'd go, girlfriend, you just took over that entire scene. I've now got to cut about 5,000 words because you were just mad. And she did. She went feral half the time. And she's a part of all the other books as well. And I just love her, just gives no Fs and at all. And either do it my way or I'm going to hex you, or it will happen my way. So
she is the mayor of H-Town.
I know.
So I feel like she's got that authority at this point in time.
Yeah, I know, but I think that using magic is a bit rude.
Is she an actual witch?
She thinks she is. She's pretty crap at it, though.
The threats go a long way.
Go a long way. But what I enjoy doing is I keep putting it in the character's point of view that she's a crap witch, and then every now and again something happens, and they go, maybe she's not such a crap witch. Let's just mind our P's and Q's here a bit. And I love Madame Calliope. She's the psychic in the book. She's, I think she's not so much in this book. Maybe in the following books I might be delving more into her because she just fascinates me. It's weird. I don't actually feel like I've made up these characters. They've become part of my world. So yeah, they're all good. What other scenes? I loved writing the ghosts on the lake, and the fact that so the ghosts go on there's an outdoor cinema and the screen is on the bank and you watch the film from the boats, and the ghosts are on the boats watching the film, and they're not very happy about that. Well, Silas isn't in particular. So that was fun. Just doing different things like that.
Just hearing you describe some of the scenes that you loved reinforces the narrative that H-Town isn't just a setting. There's a lot of personality to
it's a character.
There's so many characters.
It's a character.
You really want to be in H-Town.
Yeah.
So there are so many colorful characters, a lot that have agency that really add to giving guidance, but also just adding an extra bit of pizzazz and confusing Dane and Wren. Which one was your favorite to write about?
Favorite characters?
Was that too much of a hard choice? Because they are really great characters.
You know what? I really like Jasper in a way because Jasper he's really there's a difference between nice and kind.
Mm-hmm.
Jasper is kind, but he's not particularly nice. So there's a difference there. I really enjoyed him. As I said, I loved Luna because she's just batshit. She's awesome. And I love the interaction between Marigold and her husband Earl. So Earl they both own Spirited Grounds. Earl is a non-believer. Marigold is just covered in lace and rings and has conversations with Effie, who's the ghost who inhabits the coffee shop, and she's the co-owner, and it's just so over the top. And so writing those things are fun. It's just all these little characters make up different things. And honestly, it was 3 books ago, so I'm kind of trying to remember everything that I wrote. There's a lot.
There's a lot. But
I'm so impressed with myself.
You're doing amazing. But also for a small town, there's a lot to do in H-Town.
Oh, no.
Because they were like, oh, they're running away. I mean, Wren lives all over the world. Dane is also just basically all over the place. And it was so interesting that they come back to the small town with so much color to figure out themselves.
And I also just think I wanted very specifically for them both to be a bit of Rolling Stones. So because that becomes quite difficult. How do you create a life together? And when you still have we still have jobs and careers. And it's really important for me that nobody gets to give up anything for love. Because you can, obviously, personal choice, but, I just kind of always feel like it's the woman giving it up for the trauma surgeon, doctor. And I'm going, well, dude, you've got an awesome job too. Why? So why do you have to be the person? And without giving out any spoilers, I think I like the way that played out, because it doesn't necessarily always have to be that way.
It's a beautiful read. It's very difficult not to give out the spoilers, because there's a lot that happens there.
There is so much.
There's extra characters that come into play too, that just throw them off their course.
And
moments of vulnerability.
Yeah. And yeah, it is. I actually had to skim through the book again, because I was a bit concerned because I'd forgotten so much. I'm going, there's so much in here. How does everybody keep track? I've forgotten. Yeah, there is a lot, but I think it's fun. I think it's escapism. I mean, I laughed my way through it. I think I'm hilarious.
You are.
So
I know that it's been a while since you've read the book and you've had to skim through it. But if you wanted readers to stick with one central thought, or just something that they take away from the book at the end, what would that be?
Oh, that's a hard one. I think that you don't have to, love always finds a way. And how cliche is that? I'm so sorry, it's such a cliche. But if this is important enough to you, and important enough not only for Dane and Wren, but important if your agency is enough. Luna is obsessed with H-Town. It's her deep love affair, this town. Mm-hmm. If love is worth fighting for, whatever love looks like to you, I'd like them to walk away with that, and that you have to work for it. You have to work for your happy ever afters. Nothing comes easy, and that choice is a lot of my books. In fact, most of my books, every choice has a consequence. Are you prepared to live with those consequences? If you do X, are you prepared to live with Y? And that actually just is a theme that seems to run like, oh, here you go again, Wood. Choices and consequences, but that is life. So are you prepared to live with those consequences? And a lot of them come to the realization that sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. So,
and it's a choice you have to make on your own terms, without someone forcing you, pressuring you.
Yeah. And is love asking you to make too big a choice? And is that love when you're being asked to make too big a choice?
And if there's a pause, if someone had to ask you, is it love? Then you have to start wondering,
it might just be great sex.
You never know. So now that the book is out too, what is the most rewarding part about it?
I think it's such a surreal thing. And I mean, I know I've written so many books, but just looking at it and I'm going, wow, it's here. I think I love the fact that people are going, well, I expected just an easy read and it had a bit of depth. I like that. I like the fact that it's not just a fluff. I mean, it's not the great South African romance novel, but I like the fact that it's got a bit of depth and people are responding to that and they're responding to the characters. And, my job, I just have the best job in the world. So if I can give somebody a couple of hours of escapism or to step out their life, because, the world's a lot, there's a lot out there that we have to deal with. And it's a tough world. So, if I've given somebody a half an hour here or an hour or two there, where they just don't have to think about, or a mommy whose baby is screaming at 3 o'clock in the morning, or somebody who's just feeling miserable. And that's my job. I mean, then I've, how great is that? I mean, yay. That's just awesome.
Well, it's a beautiful job, and I'm so happy that we have Summerween. It's a great read, a small town with a lot of layers to it, and it's been so much fun chatting to you.
It's been so much fun.
I'm excited to see part 2. Halloween Town, and hopefully also exploring some of the characters that we get to meet in H-Town.
Thanks so much. It's been lovely being here. Enjoyed it.